जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Sri Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Prala Narsimhadev Prala Narsimhadev Prala Narsimhadev Prala Narsimhadev. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nita Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nita Gaura Hari Bol. Sri Sri Gaurita ki, Sri Sri Radha Bhagwan ki, Sri Sri Jagannath Bala Subhadramaya ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitaya Gaur Pramanande. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for assembling in the assembly of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam discussion. So it is always auspicious to start the day or end the morning with hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So today we are looking at chapter 18. The title of chapter 8, Diti was to kill King Indra. And so this is chapter 18, part of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 6. So the today verse given is number 35. I plan to actually stick to number 35 and 36. Two verses, they are very much related. So these two verses are primarily focused on, praising of Diti by Kashyapa Muni. For praising her services and also offering benediction. When you offer services, you also have blessings and benedictions. So those are the two aspects are discussed in verse 35 and 36. Okay, before we move on, let us invoke auspicious. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So let us, read just word by word, then we read the full verse. Tasmat pativrtaha narya shreya kamaha sumudayami yajante ananya bhavena patim atmanam iswaram tasmat pativrata narya shreyas kamaha sumadame Shreyas kamaya sumadami Ijanta ananyaya bhavena Yajante ananya bhavena Patim atmanam iswaram Tasmat pativrata narya Shreyas kamaha samadame Yajante ananya bhavena Patim atmanam iswaram Tasmat pativrata narya Shreyas kama sumadame Yajante ananya bhavena Patim atmanam iswaram Tasmat pativrata narya Shreyas kamaha sumadame Yajante ananya bhavena Patim atmanam iswaram Patim atmanam iswaram Tasmai pativrata narayaya Shreyas kama sumadame Yajante ananya bhavena Patim atmanam iswaram Yajante ananya bhavena Patim atmanam iswaram Yajante anyana bhavena Word to word translation. Tasmat, therefore, pativrataha, devoted to the husband, narya, woman. Shreya Kamaha, conscientious. Sumadame, O thin-waisted woman. Yajante, worship. Anyanya bhavena, with devotion. Patim, the husband. Atmanam, the super soul. Ishwaram, representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. My dear wife, whose body is so beautiful, your waist being thin, O conscientious woman, should be chaste and should be abide by the orders of her husband. She should very devotedly worship her husband as representative of Vasudeva. We'll also read the next verse, translation. My dear gentle wife, because you have worshipped me with great devotion, considering me as representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I shall reward you by fulfilling your desires, which are unobtainable for an unchaste wife. Om Ajnana-trimindasya Jnananja Salakaya Chaksurulmitam Ena Tasme Sri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapadaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachata Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So the two verses that we are reading today, although they don't have a purport, but they are very clear enough. And when we follow instruction of Srila Prabhupada, certainly they become very, very clear. And we will, take a look at those two verses almost even at each word level. So when we go deeper, so it becomes very clear to us. And of course, the context is all clear. So we all, this verse, this title of this chapter is Diti vows to kill Indra. So in our previous verses of this chapter, there's a description of the lineage of Kashyapa Muni, the various sons born to Diti and sons born to Aditi. So the sons born to Aditi were, devoted to Lord Vishnu, so they were called demigods, and sons born to Diti were, generally they became, enemies of Lord Vishnu, which means they become asuras. And various descriptions were there. So at one point, we heard about Diti taking a very strong, vow that she wanted to kill Indra. So why? As we know, she had twin sons. Who are the first twin sons of Diti? She had first two sons, twins. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. They were her first two sons, and they were twins actually. Born on the same day, same time, conceived on the same day, and grown together with the same mentality. So these two sons were killed by Lord Vishnu. So why did he kill? And of course we always hear the reason. So here Lord Vishnu didn't kill just for his own satisfaction. But as you know, these two, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, so they were troubling all three worlds, creating so much of havoc, troubling devotees, Then of course they have driven even the devas out of their heavenly planet and then took over that control, then causing a lot of problem. Then obviously what can devatas do? They were helpless and they had to go and seek help of Brahma. Brahma also became helpless. Then he took them to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu said, okay, at appropriate time I will take care of this, don't worry. So maybe not for your offense, but they will do some other offense. So I have to take action. So because of which Lord Vishnu has appeared in the form of boar to kill Hiranyaksha, then appeared in the form of Hiranyakashipu, appeared in the form of Nrsimhadev to kill Hiranyakashipu. So more of this in detail, we have next canto that tells you more details. So we don't need to go there. But suffice to say that, so when Diti, as mother of the Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, so when he heard this news, she became very angry and also started lamenting. First we become angry, then at some point you start lamenting why did this happen. Then she connected. Oh, so this Indra is the original cause of this. So he went and instigated or begged Lord Vishnu to do something about this. Therefore, Lord Vishnu has to take action. Of course, he would have attributed to other one, her own grandson, Prahlad Maharaj, who is son of Hiranyakashipu. So primary reason Lord Nrsimhadev appeared is to protect Prahlad Maharaj. And of course Prahlad Maharaj is her grandson, direct grandson, so I don't think she will get so much angry on Prahlad Maharaj. But she says, she traced back, where is the original cause? So she became very angry. Of course in anger, what happens? You also take some strong oath that I want to take a revenge. Usually that everybody does. Unless they were in so pure consciousness, they were so pure bhaktas, uttama bhaktas, then they might say, oh, this is actually will of providence. In fact, Diti herself says will of providence in certain other circumstances. When she did Vishnu Vrata, following Vaishnava rituals, he became so pure. At that time, even her own sons were killed in the womb. She didn't curse Indra. But before that, she, vowed to kill Indra. So that was a scene. Then, of course, now she has to divide a scheme to fulfill her vow. She herself cannot do by alone, correct? Can Diti produce her own son by herself, by her power? She also need another person help. And who is the best person to offer such a help is husband, especially if she wants a son. So her weapon is she wanted a son who can kill Indra. So therefore, to get a son, she has to, get it from a powerful husband. And Kashyapa Muni was a powerful Muni. So Kashyapa Muni, if you go through his characteristics and qualities, he was, at least he married 8 daughters of Daksha. Daksha also very powerful, Prajapati. And he was also like a Prajapati, related to Lord Brahma, very close, just 2-3 generations only. And he performed so much of austerity. If you usually see Kashyapa Muni is always in meditation or in bhakti, devotional service, he is conducting devotional service always. Then obviously he had Ashtasiddhis, 8 mystic powers. And being a pure devotee of Lord, he can definitely grant a very powerful son who is capable of killing Indra. So this was so in order to get favor of her husband, what's he to do? So in our previous verse we saw that she, served her husband in very pleasing way. So for example, verse 27 and 26 of this chapter, they talked about with this desire to kill. So she started satisfying Kashyapa Muni with her pleasing behavior. Usually you want certain benediction or a blessing, you want something from others. Definitely if you are exhibiting very good quality and character with pleasing behavior, speaking very nicely, maybe doing some small services or big services, doesn't matter, some services with love and affection. And obviously, then also when you speak to them in sweet voice. Sweet voice means speak just nicely, don't be too harsh word. So this has definitely pleased, Kashyapa Muni. Not only speaking with sweet voice, but she also has smiling and nice glances at her husband. So because of this, she was able to attract the mind of Kashyapa Muni. When you attract mind of a Kashyapa Muni, what happens? Certainly he will come under control of Diti. Correct? So mind is the one which is controlling all our senses. Center of our sense, mind, all the senses. If the mind is not there, senses, maybe touching water, you don't really feel the taste of water, or you don't feel hot, or you don't feel cold. Correct? Mind is the center which is processing. Senses are simply, input. They are taking input. So our eyes are taking input, our ears are taking input. Correct? Our tongue is taking input, our nose is taking input. But these are being processed in mind. So with her nice behavior and services she started offering in order to get her desire fulfilled. So because of that, of her services, so she attracted mind of her husband, Kashyapa Muni. Then as a result, so Kashyapa Muni came under her control, indirectly. Control means, he is ready to fulfill her desires. That's what it means. So meanwhile, so before he, grant her wishes, she didn't actually tell her wishes first. So I am looking for a son who will kill Indra, so therefore I am doing the service. No, she didn't say that. She started offering services. First service, then reward. Correct? We know that even if you go for a job in material world, first do the job, then they will give you payment. Correct? Sometimes they might say, if you are a really good person, well known, they might say, first half salary is given before you start the work, half will be given after you complete. But usually after you complete, you will get a reward. In Kali Yuga, even after completing also, getting reward is also difficult. Correct? Sometimes people ask you to do certain service, and then when it comes to payment, so they will delay it, or they will refuse it, or they might say your quality of work is not good. They will find all kind of problem. So that's what happens. But here in this case, so anyway, contract was not there. There is no predefined contract. Contract is only in Diti's mind. So she was exhibiting outwardly nice qualities. So here in today's verse 35 is, because of her nice services she offered, so clearly Kashyapa Muni was very pleased. So that is clear from today's verse. So he says, my dear wife. He's just saying, not just my wife. He says, my dear wife. Correct? So you say, dear wife, dear husband. When you add this prefix, dear, so you have to think very carefully. So he's putting my dear wife. So that only shows that he's already pleased. And then he says, not only pleased, but he started appreciating her outside beauty. So here you can see, next is, your body is so beautiful. If someone is not pleased to you, even if they be outwardly very beautiful, but they will be for you, repulsive. Isn't it? But they were very service attitude, they become very loving to you. So, so he started appreciating, you are beautiful. Then not only saying beautiful, but he's also saying that your waist is being thin. So now he's going a bit more internal. So that appreciation starting. Then he says, conscientious wife. So what is this conscientious wife? Conscientious means one who performs duty very well and thoughtfully. So now he's thinking, my wife is not only performing my seva so nicely, but very thoughtfully. So much of appreciation. So you can see when you offer services with love and devotion. Then of course he says, such a wife should be chaste. Who can offer such a wife service to husband? Only chaste wife can offer. Then he says, should abide by the orders of her husband. And she should abide by the orders of her husband. In one sense, he is giving instruction. He is trying to say, first he is giving instruction, then he is going to grant a wish. The first is, appreciating, then talking about shastric injunctions. So a wife should be chaste wife. And then, of course, he should abide by the order of her husband. So order doesn't mean that, you only do whatever is requested. Correct? Somebody says, please give me water. I am thirsty, I want to drink. Okay, so that is order. But you can also get without order. Someone sees, so this person needs a water. Without asking, person goes and brings the water. So that is how we actually got this water. Did I ask for this glass of water? No. So some devotee, great devotee, the first class devotee, they pursue that, when such an activity is happening, so they definitely need a glass of water. So they pursue it and bring. So this is in Shastra, of course. So he is giving a Shastric instruction first. So should abide by the, a chaste wife should abide by the order of her husband. Furthermore, he says, she should very devotedly worship her husband as representative of Vasudeva. Worship is of course a loaded term too. What is worship? One can discuss more in depth. But so now in this case, worship her husband. Worship can be, devotion or service. When Prabhupada says bhakti, Prabhupada translates as a devotional service. Basically, service in devotion. Everybody is doing service. Correct? We can't live in this world without service even for a second. Correct? Sometimes we are serving our body. Something irritation, then we scratch our body. So that is a service. We are doing service to the body. Correct? So when feeling hungry and become very weak, that time hand is doing service by taking food and putting it to mouth. Then tongue is deciding whether it is worth taking inside or throwing away. Correct? Tongue is also doing service. Then of course once it goes inside the stomach is doing a lot of hard work, trying to take that items, then convert them into energy. So every organ is under service. So he is serving its master. So that is the soul inside, it is serving. So here similarly, Kashyapa Muni, indicating this instruction of Shastra, that wife should serve her husband with devotion similar to one serves Lord Vishnu, says Lord Vasudeva. So, and as representative of Vasudeva. Even you may not consider husband as Vasudeva himself, you can consider husband as a representative of Vasudeva. So these are actually very powerful points so he is making. So let us take a look at each of these little bit more in depth. So now first appreciation. So people say beauty lies in eyes of beholder. In this case, so Diti looks very beautiful to Kashyapa Muni, especially in this particular instance of her pleasing services. Correct? So we say beauty lies in eyes of beholder. Sometime a person becomes mad after somebody. For you they may not look beautiful, but for this person they are very, very beautiful. Correct? So there are a lot of instances where such situations is there. Now coming to next point, a chaste wife So abide by the orders of husband. Now, so who is chaste wife? So this is the English word, chaste wife. But in Sanskrit we say dharma patni. Dharma patni. So now who is dharma patni? So according to scriptures, again, when you accept a woman in marriage, correct? You accept a woman in marriage. So when you accept a woman in marriage, so how do you accept? So often ritualistic ceremonies, so which means you are accepting as per the terms of religious principles. And we see here often performing marriage. When they are performing marriage in our Hare Krishna temple, how do they do? First they set up altar nicely for that also. Correct? Performing marriage, we say this marriage is a representation of marriage of Lakshmi Narayana. So therefore, just like on various festival days we decorate altars, we also decorate altars, isn't it? When it comes a marriage day, you come here, the new altar will be set up. Just like on festival day, they put those square box to decorate Prabhupada asana area. Similarly, exactly like that. So we also do here. And this is common everywhere. Even if you go to a big city like New York, to a small, tiny village like Kauta, where I was born, everywhere. Correct? Tiny village to the big city. New York to tiny city, or tiny village to big city. There also they perform this organizing altar. So in different way, they also put various leaves, banana trunks, and nice arrangement is made. Then asana is there. Then perform marriage with great way, following Vedic ritualistic ceremony. So often yajna is conducted first. So yajna to satisfy Lord Vishnu. Correct? You have to invoke auspiciousness in that place. So you get married to a woman, or a woman get married to a husband, or vice versa. These days, this marriage definition also keeps changing, you know that. Correct? So in Australia now, few years ago, the definition was marriage is equal to union of man and woman. That was the definition of marriage. Now in the name of modernity, equality, everybody has self-will. So constitution cannot dictate what is marriage. I want to decide what is marriage. So under that term now they changed. So a marriage of two parties. And parties can be anybody, man, woman, or whatever. Okay, so the definition has completely changed. So these definitions are actually loosened, and that is called modern advancement. Correct? Advancement of modernity is, my way. Correct? Each person has their own will. No one can dictate. Neither parents, neither mother, neither husband, nor spiritual master. I will decide what is good for me. So this is how people are carrying out. To an extent, now people talk about marrying to oneself. No need of even other person. They call that it's called sologamy. People are now big so-called medias like BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC London, BBC. Even they also put one big nice video on sologamy, advantage of sologamy marriage, how good it is. You don't have to worry about other person. You can be self-happy, self-take care, self-marriage. Not just in Western countries, but also in India. Few months ago, one Gujarati girl, she also did self-marriage. Self-marriage, how she also performed yajna, called pujaris, brahmanas, performed yajna, invited friends, hosted party. So, just self-marriage only. So this is now, I think, changing. The marriage is changing. So whereas here, chaste wife, what Kashyapa Muni is talking about, this he was talking in Satya Yuga. Correct? So this incident of Hiranyakashipu, Vadana. Vadana means killing. So that happened in Satya Yuga. So the Satya Yuga story. So during Satya Yuga, so marriage was a union of man and woman. That was, but now it's completely changed from any two parties to oneself. So this is a new trend, sologamy marriage, and getting popular, by the way. getting popular. So people think, first finding a right partner is difficult. Even if you find one also difficult to get along. Correct? Everybody wants their own way. There is no... See, when you have two parties together, there is always a compromise. Anywhere. So, not all the time the party, everything will go according to your wishes. Nothing goes according to your wishes actually in this world. Forget about husband being exactly in tune with you or wife being in tune with you, but you are nothing in tune with you in this world. Correct? Whether you take a public transport or any transport system, you want to go from one place to other place, it's not under control. Correct? You want to go from temple to home or come from home to temple, how much time it takes? Depends. So many factors. One is you. But there are other factors. Things around, the traffic, your vehicle. There are so many situations decide. So therefore, nothing in our control. So coming back, this chaste wife. So chaste wife is one that you accept in marriage according to terms of religious principles. So that is what actually chaste wife is. So when you accept like this, she becomes your dharma patni. Dharma, patni. Patni is wife. Dharma, according to dharma. Dharma patni. And of course, what is this dharma patni? Again, Shastra will go a little more details. How was she before marriage? That is also important. Correct? Not everyone will become a dharma patni. So dharma patni is the one. So, according to Prabhupada actually, okay? So, one who never had any mingling with other men during her youth. Correct? So, she is pure. And of course, here, Prabhupada talk about if you just let them just mingle with boys, girls all the time, this can lead to troubles. Even Prabhupada says, so here, woman is like a fire and men is like a butter. This doesn't mean that men is soft. What Prabhupada says, analogy, when you bring fire and butter together, what happens? It melts. Correct? If you're not familiar with this, just go to the kitchen, you can observe right yourself. When they are cooking, they take 2 kilo of butter, ghee and put into hot vessel. What happens? Then suddenly it becomes liquid. So there is going to be some reaction. When you bring fire and butter together, the reaction is become liquid. So therefore, if this in modern mingality, so if just mingling, before marriage, excessively mingling, just wasting time, mingling, all sorts of things happening. So this is going to be a problem. So such persons are not going to be pure, whether men or women, both. This is not just refers to woman, this refers to wife, dharma patni. Dharma pati also. So not dharma patni. So this is in the context of Kashyapa Muni's instruction, that is why we are saying dharma patni. But dharma pati also. So dharma patni is one who is like a Sri Rama, Lord Sri Rama. Correct? Eka pativrata. So Lord Sita Mata, she is also Eka pativrata. Correct? So that is real dharma pati or dharma patni. So this is so very, very important. When you have such a ritual, marriage, truly, according to the principles of Shastra, Dharma Shastra, then what happens? You can actually easily deal with dangerous situation of this world. The world is very dangerous actually. In fact, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam says, every steps, pade pada, danger. So you can see, padam padam yad vipadam na tesham. Every step there is a danger. Imagine a person is a very powerful personality, but he doesn't have a wife. So wife is compared to fort. You have a very prosperous kingdom, king palace, big palace, but there is no fort around it. What is the fort? Whenever we say a palace and a city, usually a palace in a city, big area, say 5-10 kilometer diameter. So they will have a fort. What is this fort? It's like a border. So when other enemies are coming to attack, so this big fort is the first protection. Even before your army goes there. Night time, army is also sleeping. Even if they are awake, these guards, Jawans, only few of them are awake. Some of them are just sitting there on chair, and then these Gurkhas and guards are sleeping also. Right? Sometimes people, if you have a house in Vrindavan, they say we should appoint one guard. So you have a guard outside. So what guard is doing? So he is just sitting in chair and with heater to the extreme in winter, and he is sometimes sleeping, or often sleeping only. So here, because of that, they have a big fort. So wife is compared to a fort, one who protect husband from many dangers. So there are many dangers actually. So if when there is a fort, so this husband can satisfy desire in a controlled manner according to Shastra. Otherwise, what happens? So person desire may be fulfilled wrongly, then that will become cause of his fall down. And you hear all the time, even in material world, you become a president of a country, correct? You go out of fort of that wife, fall down. Your position will come down. So the person is considered the president, and suddenly he will fall down and degraded. So he will lose that position also. The position is lost, material power, presidency is lost. So it happens. So therefore, it's very important to have a dharma patni or dharmapati. It's why applied to wife also, correct? So they can have a very good family. So this way they can overcome danger. There are many dangers you can actually have in life. Not only this danger, but also many other dangers. Now you go to a work, every day people are not welcoming with red carpet, or talking to nicely, and you are very, very happy, and come home, you are also happy. No, that is not the case. You go to happy, work very hard, okay, so maybe somebody has spoke harsh word on you, maybe you didn't do proper job, or job you did for some reason, it was not to satisfaction. So there will be harsh words too. So you come after hard work and come to home. So here at home, so obviously, let's say you got a wife, so wife is the one, so she helps you to come out of that emotion, to come to be more cool or make you happy. Correct? Or vice versa. So we have companion or friendship. So this way each other, coming out of either mental tensions, physical tensions. So you come out and be happy. So dangers are sought. And of course, if you have such a good wife, what happens? So what do? In family life, they engage in devotional service. So when you come home, so Dharma Patni, so might offer you a glass of water, drink. Then of course, both of you perhaps help him to perform a puja, worship. So here, husband can do worship or wife can do worship. Usually, when husband comes, he worships, wife prepares the necessary items for that worship. So husband is worshipping whom? Worshipping, in this case, Lord Vasudeva. So therefore, he becomes representative of Vasudeva, representative of Lord Sri Krishna. And of course, here actually, in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, you see, good wife is also compared to good intelligence. In fact, Prabhupada says that there is no difference between good intelligence and good wife. If you get a good wife, automatically you assume that you got a good intelligence. And these are, exchangeable. A person may be not intelligent, but wife is intelligent, everything will go smoothly. You can see in some of the houses, husband is not that intelligent in managing affairs, business, or spirituality sometime. So in that case, wife is intelligent, everything will go smoothly. The kids will be raised very nicely, and they will also become devoted or materially successful. Both success only simply success. So therefore, they can help you come out of danger from every step. And also, intelligent wife will also encourage you to perform devotional service. Now, service or work everyone is doing, but work in devotion. So if you are going in a wrong way, intelligent wife will suggest you, please do not do that. Correct? So if you are earning money, earn, rightfully, lawfully. Correct? So if you earn lawfully and bring that money to the house, she is very pleased. But if you rob some bank or rob a house or rob a person and bring money to the house, wife is not pleased. She will kick that fellow out. Correct? A good wife will kick that person, okay, go, get out. And then return this back and come to home. No problem. We are happy with whatever little we got. Even if you go hungry today, no problem. But don't bring such tainted money. Correct? So it will save you from lot of troubles. It will save you from police. Correct? It will save you from difficulty when save you from possibility of putting into jail. So she is helping, good wife. So this is very, very important, getting a chaste wife. And dharmapati or dharmapati, either way. Okay? If you are looking for a pati, then make sure that pati is actually dharmapati or patni dharmapatni, and she has that intelligence, and his or her quality is mostly divine. So their activities are divine, their work is divine, their thoughts are divine, and when they perform, they work sincerely. And any work, whether you are performing their work sincerely, even at offices, workplaces, you are appreciated, definitely. And not only appreciated, they will also promote you. Correct? So you may be a cleaner at the place in the beginning, but one day you become a CEO of that company or CEO of that place. Correct? Not only CEO, you become a owner of that place. For example, you heard about Vraja-ra? Vraja-ra is the very richest person in India, so he owns so many hundreds of hotels, 5-star hotels in India and also across the world. So this fellow was just a waiter in Vraja-ra hotel. But he did work so sincerely. So one day this owner was thinking, I am going to retire. He doesn't have a son or daughter. What do you do? Oh, here is one sincere worker in my hotel. Let me hand it over to him. He said, Oh, Vraja-ra, why don't I want to sell this hotel to you? He says, my master, my salary is so little. How can I buy this hotel? I am just a servant here, doing cooking or serving the guests that are coming here. But he says, no problem. You give whatever, I will accept it. That is the payment. So what did the Vraja-ra do? He went and asked wife as usual. Wife said, here is my little saved money that I got, take it. So he gives and this fellow accepts, and then the hotel became his. He transferred that owner, okay, now no problem, all of us, he left the place. So it is, sincerity pleases. Now that is in the material situation. Now think in terms of a spiritual situation. When you perform your seva sincerely to Lord Krishna, he says, this Vaikuntha Loka is yours. Correct? So service in devotion. And then he is not expecting much. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Patram puspam phalam toyam. Patram, just leaf. Just go out and pick up one leaf from the garden. Correct? Puspam, same thing. So you don't have to break your head also. Sometimes you go to Mariko and pick up one flower from there, and there will be complaint from neighbors. But you don't have to do that. So our temple has made job easy. Now they planted a lot of flowers. Pick up one flower and offer it to Lord Krishna. Of course, if everybody does that, then flowers will be lost. Don't worry. So anyway, so patram puspam. Phalam. You can bring one banana or one apple or one orange or one grape. Small one grape, correct? So we can offer patram puspam phalam toyam. If you can't do that anything, we can bring one glass of water, give it to a person who is giving Śrīmad Bhāgavatam clubs. He drinks on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. Correct? Actually, this Vyasasana is a asan representing our Param Guru. So whatever we speak, we are speaking on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. And you see here, Prabhupada also holding the same book, I am also holding the same book. Isn't it? So Prabhupada is not holding a different book. He is also holding the same Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, same chapter, same verse, and I am also doing the same thing. So we become representative of Prabhupada. So therefore, so when you serve anyone who is pravachana, giving pravachana, so you are actually serving Srila Prabhupada. And when you are serving Srila Prabhupada, automatically you are serving Guru Parampara. All the way it will reach Lord Sri Krishna. So Toyam. So in the beginning, maybe we are not, considered as a Brahman. We didn't went through this purificative process or official approval as a, Brahmana, second initiated. Correct? Don't worry. So you don't have to feel that you must be a Brahmana to connect with the Supreme Lord. No. So you can be anyone, whether you are a first initiated, a second initiated, or no initiated, just coming here and offer service, little. So patram puspam phulam toyam. And how is that you offer this? With love and devotion. See, Supreme Lord is not a hungry man. Correct? Is Lord Krishna a hungry man? Correct? Is a Radharani hungry woman? No. So they are self-satisfied. Not only self-satisfied, Sarva Loka Maheshwar. Correct? So he is Sarva Loka Maheshwar. He is Atmaram. He is self-satisfied. He doesn't need a little glass of water, a little glass of flour, little flour, so not our fruit. He doesn't need it. So he is self-satisfied. But we do this just for our own satisfaction, our own progress. Correct? So when we offer this worship to Lord, so next talk about worship. So this she should devotedly worship her husband as representative of Vasudeva. With devotion, offer with devotion. Devotion means with love, sincerity, pleasing, mild, not without pride, correct, humble, so that pleases. So here worship, of course worship can be looked at many ways. Usually we think worship means someone who is performing, puja to Lord, taking agarbatti, then offering lamp, then offering water, then offering cloth, then offering flower, then offering chamara. We think that person is doing worship. Actually, yes, that is worship. But worship is actually seva. Any seva that you perform is a worship. If you are making a garland, that is a worship. If you are performing a decoration, that is worship. You are preparing a, bed for Lord, nighttime sleeping, that is worship. I see sometimes Mataji performs there in the altar, in the paraphernalia room. Or, you are performing some small, garland, also worship. Or you are going and cooking is worship. Cleaning the temple is worship. Correct? Is worship. Hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is also worship. Sravanam is worship. Correct? So any engagement of your, whatever you got, what is that you got? This body. What does this body has? Senses. Correct? We have senses, we have mind, and we have little intelligence also. These are things that we got physically in this body. Correct? So you can engage these senses in service. So what can we do with eyes? We can go around, or at least you can see the Lord. So that way you are engaging in worship. Seeing a Lord is a worship. Correct? Then, of course, hearing Lord glory is a worship. Tasting, prasada is a worship. Because when we take prasada, we say, honor the prasada. Honoring is a worship. Correct? So sometime you go to some place, you offer it to them. If they take it, you feel very, very pleased. Correct? The person may not accept from everyone. But if you offer them very nicely, they accept it. So that's worship. Then, of course, when we offer when Pujari offers a flower to Lord, what do? They don't keep in their pocket. They just give it to everybody, devotees. What devotees do? They take it to each and every person and we smell. So we are engaging this nose in worship. Correct? We are engaging all our activities in worship of Lord. So this is how the worship can be defined. It is not only puja. That's what we general populace may think, that one who performing arati at a defined time, that the pujari is performing puja, that's a worship. But every activity that you perform in connection with Lord Vasudeva is a worship. And if you do that to a person who is connected to Vasudeva, is also worship. So that is why here, according to Shastra, he says, wife worships her husband as representative of Supreme Lord. In previous verses, one purport, Prabhupada said, Pati Guru. So, wife considers husband as a spiritual master. So, that is what is said. Then, of course, when you become engaged in such activity, in Krishna consciousness, then obviously you are called as an intelligent person. Correct? So, by engaging our senses in service, in worship, in activities, in seva, in service to the Lord, so what is happening? Our intelligence is becoming spiritual. We have senses, mind and intelligence. These gross senses, this mind is not so visible to us physically, but mind is the center of all the senses. Correct? If there is a disconnection from senses to mind, what happens? It doesn't work. Correct? So even if I pinch you, you don't feel any pain because there is a disconnection. So when you have undergoing some very strong operation, what do? They give an injection of, correct? So that induces you in, senses are now dull. So as a result, what happens? So they can cut you. You don't feel any pain. Correct? Do you feel pain? Any experience? No? At least I had experience. Okay? So if you have accident, you break some bone in hand, then they can't really cut like this, and that time you will be screaming, then we won't allow them to assist because they want complete still. Very carefully you have to cut. While cutting, if you just cut a nerve, finish. The signal from mind to hand won't come, hand won't work. Sometimes people, hand is there, perfect, strong hand, but they can't lift or they can't do anything because the signaling system is disconnected. Same thing will happen to our life. If you are not connected to the original source of power, we will be like the disconnected hand. Physically their hand is there, but useless. Our life will become useless if we are not connected to the Supreme Lord. We might be surviving okay, we might be enjoying some sensually, but so what? Ultimate failure. So it is very important to make ultimate success, not ultimate failure. Correct? So having this devoted connection, engaging these senses, and then mind also in service. We have to engage mind also in service actually. Lord Krishna says, not only engage senses, mind, man mana mad bhakta. My bhaktas are engaging their mind on me. Because mind has to always think something. So why don't we engage our mind in Lord Krishna? Messages, instruction, his appearance, his nama, his rupa, engage their mind in just rupa of Lord. And you don't have to engage his mind in Lord's, remembering. You don't have to have eyes which will see. There were many bhaktas who were blind. They were blind. Even though they were blind, this person could describe the beauty and the dresses of that day. And who is that person? The blind, one famous devotee? Yeah. Yes. So, this person, sitting and then every day, he would sing, oh, today is how nicely Radhavala is wearing and white is dress and this flower describing. Then people for this Surdas, that place, there was Surdas. Sur is the blind, Das, Surdas. So this Surdas was able to describe Lord's beauty every day. He just sit in a temple, then he describes, sings glory, like the singer. What is his job? He will every day sings glory of Lord. Today you have some singer, he will glorify to today's dress, today's appearance. Tomorrow change the dress, he will glorify that way. Then people thought this person is blind, how can he see? One day they didn't dress at all, they kept, no dress. Correct? So Lord was dressed. So that day he's singing that way. Surdas. See, that is what? So that means you don't need a mind to see. This eyes, you can see through your divine vision. Divine vision. Say, for example, who is the Guru of Bhaktivedanta Maharaj? Prabhupada Guru is Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj Guru is Gaura Krishna Das Goswami Maharaj. Gaura Krishna Maharaj has such a divine vision. He was in Mayapur, right in Vrindavan at Radha Damodar temple. There is a Tulsi tree. So who will go and eat these trees? Usually goat. Goat? The goat went around and trying to eat the Tulsi tree. Correct? So at that time, Srila Gaurukisa Goswami Maharaj, he is the divine man. He says, hut. In India we say hut, go away. Correct? So he said that hut, because his divine vision, he saw this goat came and eating the Tulsi tree leaves. Then he says, get lost, hut. So with divine vision, you don't have to be physically. You see, these all are just right in this room only. Correct? So Gaurukisa Maharaj is here in his picture form, and he could see from Mayapur to Vrindavan. Correct? So that is through his mind, divine vision. So therefore engaging that mind. So engaging our senses, engaging mind in worship. And that is what he is instructing. Then of course in next verse he is saying, 36. Now this is the river. He says, my dear wife, because you worship me with great devotion, so you consider me as representative of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, I will reward you and fulfill all your desires. Of course, he didn't know what rewards he is asking. But anyway, so he is saying that I will reward you because you are such a nice wife. Actually, this is not only Karda Muni saying, even other Munis also said the same thing. Devahuti and Karda Muni. So in our previous verses, this Devahuti was a princess, daughter of a great king. See, the king had many daughters, but one of them was this Devahuti. She was married to, the king decided to perform marriage of her daughter to Kardamumuni, who was just a forest dweller. How did he decide it? This was on instruction from Narada Muni. Narada Muni said, your daughter Devahuti, the best husband for her is this Kardamumuni. Now Devahuti accepted. Princess means he want to marry some other prince, so that way she can live in another palace, usually. But Devahuti was devoted, so because this is the wish of Narada Muni, she accepted. So there she performed. And then this Karda Muni, he living in a forest, performing tapas, performing devotional service. No, there was no any big house, just a simple hut. Living, he is always engaged in service. So she served him, bringing water from river, organizing other places for worship. Served so nicely. From princess, young princess, she served so much that at one day, this Kardamuni decided to see his wife. By that time, she already became old. The Kardamuni felt, oh, my wife, she served me so much, she was a princess, so much devoted. She says, whatever austerity I performed so far in service of Lord, I will share all up with you. Correct? Whatever pious credit, virtue that he earned, whatever siddhi he achieved, everything he bestowed to her. So that is bestowing. So the grace of Lord came. Correct? And of course, grace of Lord means permanent. Suppose I somehow earned $1 million. I am always anxious. If I lose it, I will be lamenting. There is always anxiety, correct, of losing. But with whatever you gain, this grace of Lord is eternal. So there is no anxiety. You become fearless. So there is no need to worry about. So, and then this grace of Lord is actually puts you in a transcendental position beyond this material world, material accumulation. You become in a transcendental position. This is very, very, and then of course as a result, you don't have to hanker, you don't have to feel distress or lamentation. Lamentation will come. So that is, the Gardamuni blessing. And if you go back to even more recent, so for example, we talk about, we come under Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, succession. Brahma, Madhva. We say Madhva, correct? Madhva-Acharya was a famous prominent Acharya under this succession, Brahma, Lord, Brahma's, dismissed succession. So Madhva-Acharya. We come under Madhva, Gaudiya, Acharya. Okay, Madhva-Acharya to then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so it's called Gaudiya Acharya. Okay, so under that there were many great devotees, and they were of course usually Dasas. Now we also say we have Vraja-ra Das, Ram Das, Krishna Das, Radharani Dasi. Like that we have Dasa, Dasi. So there were many great Dasas, Haridas, Bhakti movement. So there is one very nice song. So this I want to share. This is actually in a language spoken in South India, Karnataka, Kannada. Here it says, Ganda Madida Punya Hendadige Samapalu. Ganda Madida Punya Hendadige Samapalu. Ganda means husband. Whatever virtuous things or virtuous credit husband has earned, equal share belong to wife. Whether husband is bestowing or not bestowing doesn't matter. If you have a husband who is performing very virtuous activities, virtuous credits, punya, half of it comes to you, husband, wife. Then, hendati madida punya gandanigilla. The pious or a punya performed by wife, that is not for husband, only for wife. You got it? Whatever husband has earned, half of it goes to wife. Whatever wife has earned, it is hers. Nothing for husband. The next, Ganda Madida Papa Hendati Adalla. Whatever impious or papas the husband has done, that nothing to do with wife. It is only 100% to the husband. Correct? And next, Hendati Madida Papa Bari Gandanige. Whatever impious activities that wife has done, 100% goes to husband. This is the situation of a patini, pati, husband. You can see how precarious condition is. So therefore he is saying that Founder-Acharya Achalananda Vittala Ni Ganda Nanu Hendati. He is saying that, O protector, Bhaktavatsala, O protector of devotees, O Lord Vittala, O Lord Vallabha, you are my husband, I am your wife. So therefore you accept Achyuta, Lord Radhavallabha, Lord Vittala. Vittala is Sri Krishna. Okay, Vittala in Maharashtra, they call Vittala. Panduranga Vittala. He is saying that Founder-Acharya, Rakshaka means one who protect. Bhaktavatsala, who is protecting Bhakta. Right? Bhaktavatsala. We say, Lord Narasimha is Bhaktavatsala because he protected Prahlad. Like that he protected everyone, all the devotees. So he is saying that Achalananda is actually his name. Achalananda Vittala. Oh Vittala, you are husband, I am your wife. So this is the situation. This is very, very important. So therefore, if a wife has a husband who is devoted, she should be very happy, just help. So there she gets half of the husband credit, plus her own credit, double. Then whatever impious things she does, nothing belongs to her, it all goes to husband. And husband, the impious thing, husband only. So actually this husband, prani, this person called husband is very difficult position. That is why in Shastra we say there is only one husband, there is only one Purusha. Everybody is Prakriti. We may be having outwardly a male body, outwardly female body. Actually everybody is female. There is only one male. That is called Purushottama. There is only one female. Everybody is servant only. So therefore that male is the one who protects us. And then, so in fact sannyasis, Usually we say brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, then sannyasa. So from brahmacharya straight to sannyasi. In between no grahastha life. In grahastha means we generally think, oh, we married to a wife or wife married to a husband. That marriage is there. But this brahmacharya, so these sannyasi, they skip those ashramas and directly go to sannyasa. And what are they doing? Actually, they are getting married to Lord Sri Krishna. Correct? So they are skipping this in the middle, and their marriage means what? They are fully engaging in service with devotion. So by doing that, they are fully in line with the will of Lord, and of course they are maintained, they are very happy, they are having great time, they also have a great respect. Correct? So we think after marriage and we earn a lot of money, we gain a respect by our own effort, but there they don't have to do. Simply by marrying Lord Krishna means engaging in service of Lord Krishna, and they can overcome all the difficulties of life. Okay? So with this, let me stop here, and I hope this is very clear to all of you. By taking instruction from Supreme Lord, or his representative, who can be in the form of husband, or who can be in the form of spiritual master. So you take the instruction and follow them, you make your life successful. So this way, by having grace of spiritual master, or by having grace of husband, you get two things simultaneously. One, whatever reward you get from your spiritual master, but you also get it from Lord Sri Krishna. Both simultaneous. Correct? Just like when you eat food, you feel satisfied, enjoy it, plus also nourished. Simultaneously is happening. So simultaneously, by following instruction of spiritual matter or representative, you achieve success, and success only. There is no loss at all. Okay, so with that, let me stop here. So thank you all for hearing. So any quick question? You maybe have a question. You written one? Yeah, if you written, give it to me. Then you can ask. Let me see. So you can ask a question. Please give her a mic so that the devotees in the virtual world can hear her.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the nice class. So you said how Diti was using sweet words, but her inner feelings were not good. She wanted a son who could kill Indra. But then in our daily life, we also see some people, they are good from outside. And even devotees, sometimes they show humility from outside, but their inner feelings are not good. So how can we make sure that we're not caught with these people, like the devotees?
Thank you. So your question is like, Parikshit Maharaj question. Very glorious. Yeah, and knowing answer to such a question can be, very helpful to live life in this material world peacefully. So as you said, so in the moment we are in material world means people generally full of some kind of envy. The reason we have come from spiritual world to here is because of enviousness of Lord. We thought, why Lord Krishna should be enjoying? I can also be, want to enjoy. I also want to be center of this universe. So with this mentality, we have come here. Some of them may be very strong mentality of being center of the universe, or center of the center of this temple, or center of house, center of the city, or center of this country. Everybody has that. So as a result, the moment you are in such world, so it is not surprising. It is very, you can say it by default. There will be such people who may be envious or who may criticize you. So therefore, what is our position? What should we do? Should we react, or should we just become thoughtful and move on? Correct? So if we also have a similar mentality, we are going to react harshly. So if we react, and they will also react back. And this will go on. Action, reaction forever. So that is choice number one. Second choice can be, you can just move on. So you can be more thoughtful. So then you just move on, engage in your own activity. Do not worry about criticism. If you worry about criticism, you can't achieve your goal. Simple. When you are coming from home to here, you pass through Dank Street. Correct? Even though you have been passing through this road for last 10 years. What is your age? 10? Okay, 10, let us say 10. So 10, 12. So last 12 years you have been walking, still the dog at the corner will bark you. Bhav, 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 bhav. Correct? Do you have experienced that? Yeah. So, I have that experience. Every day I'm coming, you will bark. Then what do you do? You can also bark back, bhav, bhav. You will say, bhav, bhav. Correct? You will go on. How long you want to do? If you do that, you will miss Darshan Arati, you will miss Mangal Arati, you will miss Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class. So what do? Move on. Let them bark. Prabhupada used to say, dog will bark, caravan will pass on. Correct? So similarly, so let it bark, you just come and here take darshan of Lord, here Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class, and if you have any doubt, you can ask, and that is what you are doing. So therefore, simply a mature person doesn't waste time in reacting to such criticism or feelings of ill feelings or ill harsh word of others. Even in fact, mature person will not be become elated if somebody praises you. So he takes both criticism and praise equally. That's the real Sita Prajna. Otherwise, just ignore it. This dog, so during lockdown, so I had a good fortune of coming here for seva, somehow. Even though many devotees didn't come, but I had good fortune. This dog knows me, still barks at me. But now I accept, so it is actually recognizing me. So now I changed. I don't really get fear of it. I think that it is recognized. Actually, dogs are very smart, by the way, especially in smell. They are very smart. So from smell perspective, they can smell. So last 3 years, only hardly people are walking around here. He doesn't know that there was a COVID. Correct? But look, 2.5 years, only this person is going 2-3 times here. So I consider that it is recognizing me. Let it bark. So just somebody going through, hello, Hare Krishna. He says, bhav bhav. He is saying, Hare Krishna. Shivya. Correct? Hare Krishna, Vraja-ra Das. Correct? It is speaking his language. If it were a human, it would have said, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. But it only speaks bhav bhav. So if somebody criticizes, don't worry. So just move on. So then that way your life will become successful. Then I am sure someday they will also realize, and they will also be, just by your behavior, they will also become elevated. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you. So already time nearing 9. So with this we stop here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanstam Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathantam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam